If you're in IT, there's a good chance that you're watching AI, layoffs, and rising technical debts, and you're starting to wonder how you're going to get around all the drama and maybe get ahead for a change. For busy folks like us, audiobooks are the secret weapon. Audiobooks let you stack tasks so your time is more effectively used by doing two things at once. You got to drive? Learn something while you do it, or as I call it, Windshield University. You have to work out or mow the lawn? Learn something while you do it. You need not to think about the deployment while you're on a break? Give your brain something positive to focus on and drown out the world with headphones on. So today I've picked out 6 specific books, plus a bonus one at the end, that will create a complete system to fix your career before the end of the year. My primary criteria was that this be practical books that challenge and inspire you. Now, I don't want to be all doom and gloom here, but this next year is going to be rough. So I want to make sure that my people are prepared. Also, I wanted to focus on Audible because that's how I listen to books. I mentioned before that I invest between 1% and 3% of what I earn back into myself. And my Audible subscription is one of those ways that I've done that since 2013. So if you're like me, you've got some credits to burn. So here's where to utilize them. Now, just a quick note, the links I share for these audiobooks are affiliate links, which means that I might earn an additional small commission if you decide to use your credits to purchase them. It doesn't change the price for you, and I only recommend books that I genuinely believe will help you in your career, and in this case, books I've already listened to. So let's start the countdown. All right, coming in at number 6 is a book that helps you understand the hardware you're running on, your own brain. It's Your Brain at Work by David Rock. This book is the technical manual for your own mind that no one ever handed you. David Rock explains why you feel so overwhelmed and can't focus some days, and even when you're trying your best. Key concept here is understanding your prefrontal cortex, which is like the director of a play. It handles all your executive functions: decision-making, problem-solving, and planning. The problem is this director has a very, very small stage to work with, which is your working memory. That concept is probably familiar to a lot of you, and I thought it resonated well to think of our brains the way I think of servers. In IT, our entire day is designed to overload the stage. You've got Slack notifications popping up, urgent tickets landing in the queue, emails from stakeholders, and a manager asking for a status update. Each one of those is interruptions to another actor trying to crowd onto that tiny little stage, and eventually the director just throws their hands up. Productivity dies. What this book gives you is kind of the practical takeaway of how to manage your mental energy like it's a finite resource, just like the RAM in the server. Just like optimizing those servers to work with what you've got, you learn to prioritize your daily tasks, not by their urgency or by importance, but by the amount of high quality mental effort that they require. Something we're going to be talking about soon, actually. But you do the heavy lifting here, the deep thinking tasks when your stage is clear, and your director is fresh. This is a complete game changer for organizing your day and getting meaningful work done instead of just reacting to the chaos. So if you're wanting to learn to lead a team this year, it's also a skill you need to learn how to utilize. So here's a quick tip on that. Scratch that beginning of this day scrum or whatever. It's just a bunch of BS. Oops, sorry, did I say that out loud? All they do is get people worried about what is next or what's coming up or what everybody else is doing. Instead, have your team get in and start working on one focused thing for the first 4 hours of the day, and then have a status meeting right before lunch. After lunch, the stage will be cleared because they're thinking about it and they're good to go. And you'll have another 4 hours of memory bandwidth to work on. Test me on this. I am willing to bet you that if you can do this successfully and close out all the other things and what we're going to be talking about in one of the other books here very soon, if you do that with your team, you will be more productive than all the other teams around you. I can pretty much guarantee it. So once you understand how your brain works, you need to understand how your work works. That brings us to number 5, a classic told as a story. Number 5 is The Goal by Eliyahu Goldratt. So let me say, this is a book is actually a novel about a guy running a failing manufacturing plant, but don't let that fool you. In my mind, this is one of the most important books applying to IT operations ever written. It was the inspiration for the Phoenix Project, and in fact is the primary reference for a book I'm currently working on. The Goal teaches the theory of constraints, which is a powerful way of thinking about any system, because the core idea is that in any process, there's always one thing that limits the output of the entire system. That one thing is the bottleneck or the constraint. Your job isn't to make everyone busier. Your job is to identify and improve that one single bottleneck. So think about it in IT terms. Your help desk has a bottleneck. Your project pipeline has a bottleneck. Usually the project managers. Sorry, I'm kidding. That's not true. Your software deployment has a process, absolutely has a bottleneck to it. AI has created a whole new form of a false sense of production. So actually much like the robots in the story. Oh, sorry, I didn't give that away, but you'll thank me later. This book completely shifts your mindset away from just closing more tickets or finishing your tasks for the day, and more towards improving the system's overall throughput. It's the difference between being a technician who tightens bolts and an engineer who redesigns the entire assembly line for more efficiency. Reading this is how you start thinking like a manager or a director or an architect. And because it's told as a story, it's incredibly easy to listen to. It's a bit cheesy at moments because there's music and it's read dramatically, but honestly, there's some drama that hits home in this one for me. But you'll start seeing bottlenecks everywhere in your organization. I guarantee it. So just like Alex Rogo, you might even start to be the rebel, doing things that no one thinks will work and succeeding just like he did. And I don't want to give everything away in the ending. So you're managing your brain. Now you see the system's bottlenecks. Now, how do you build the personal systems that actually make improvements? That's number 4, Atomic Habits by James Clear. You've probably heard of this one, but I want you to think about it a little differently. This isn't just a book about personal habits like going to the gym. For an IT professional, this is a book about building productive processes that guarantee your career growth. But put it together with book 3 and book 1, and you'll have a way to be spending more time at home as well. The core idea here is simple but effective, and that is that small 1% improvements, when done consistently, compound into massive, incredible results over time. Forget about setting some huge, ambitious goal like, I'm going to become a CTO this year, if you just got promoted to a team lead. That's overwhelming, and you'll probably just give up. Instead, James Clear teaches you to focus on building the small, consistent processes that lead to an outcome. For us in IT, this is gold. You can apply it kind of like creating a habit of just spending 15 minutes every single morning learning about something different, like how to lead your team more effectively, that sort of thing. Just make it a habit. Maybe you're a systems admin and you want to become an engineer. So you focus on building a simple routine for checking your backups so it happens automatically. You work yourself out of that job by creating those habits. Maybe you want to be a cloud architect, so you learn to vibe code DNS systems. Too soon? Okay. More seriously, how about creating a system for documenting your work as you go, not at the end of the project when you're exhausted? Things like that. This book helps you finally break that default cycle of, I'm too busy to improve things. It gives you a framework for making good habits that are obvious, attractive, and easy. And I know it sounds a little tacky, but stick with me here. They get satisfying. It makes improvement feel automatic instead of like it's that chore kind of a thing or a task list kind of thing. You just get used to it. This is how you build the foundation for long-term success without burning yourself out, trying to make giant leaps. It's about the process, not the outcome. The process, not the outcome. Building good habits is crucial, but what about the ability to do hard stuff that no one else wants to do? That requires a different kind of skill, which brings us to number 3. This book, Deep Work, is the direct antidote to modern hyper-distracted IT workplaces that we were just talking about. So Cal Newport defines deep work as the ability to focus without any distraction on a cognitively demanding task. It's a state of like high-level concentration where you can learn these complicated things quickly or do things quickly producing that work at an elite level, both in terms of quality and in speed. So what's crazy is that our workplaces, as they get more filled with like open or bullpen style offices, instant messaging, endless meetings, that's a lot of noise. The skill of deep work is becoming incredibly rare in those circumstances. And because it's becoming rarer, it's also becoming more valuable. What do I mean by that, by valuable? Well, for people like us in IT, this is the difference between being a reactive ticket closer and becoming an architect of valuable, complex systems. Hey, I want you to hear me on this. The person who can only answer emails and Slack messages all day is easily replaceable. The person who can shut out the world for 2 hours and solve a complex database performance issue, design a new network topology, or write a critical new piece of automation, that person is valuable. That person doesn't get laid off. Got your attention now? Deep work talks about time blocking, where you schedule deep work sessions into your calendar as if they were important meetings. You'll learn to have rituals to start your sessions, to systematically shut down notifications, just like I did to write the script I'm reading and then record it. You shut down all the things. This one is huge, and I talk about it a lot. That is how to negotiate with your boss to create a culture that values this kind of focus. If you're looking to become or have been put into a position of leading a team, I cannot say this one enough. I often challenge companies to make it a rite of offense if someone interrupts someone that is in a deep work time that's been scheduled on the calendar. I know it's tough, but if you want me to create a video on how to do that after you listen to the book, just put deep work in the comments and I'll make it happen. That's all you have to do. It's all about shifting your metric of success from being busy to producing high value output. This is the book that teaches you how to do the hard, valuable work that gets you promoted and makes you absolutely irreplaceable in any economy. But deep work requires discipline. What fuels that discipline when you feel like giving up? What you need is a stronger mindset, which is what our number 2 book is all about. The Power of One More by Ed Mylett. Okay, let me just say, this book is pure fuel. If you want a workout book, this is the one for sure. It's not like a technical manual. It's more of a mindset overhaul. It's actually recommended to me by the nutritionist, personal trainer, and physician's assistant that I had working with me to get my things going. So remember, mindset is one of our 4 key areas here at Thrive IT. Now, Ed Mylett's entire message is about finding the capacity within you to do one more of everything. One more rep in the gym, one more sales call, one more attempt at a problem. We have another gear that we haven't accessed yet. That the gap between who we are and who we could be is much smaller than we think it is. And let's be honest, working in IT is a bit of a grind. It can be brutal. You have projects that fail last minute. You have deployments that go horribly wrong on a Friday night. You constantly battle imposter syndrome, feeling like you're one mistake away from being exposed as the lie you are and fired or whatever. This book is the voice in your ear that tells you to get back up, try one more time, push a little harder. It teaches you to program your brain for that next gear, to raise your own standards, and develop the identity of someone who doesn't quit. I know that sounds like motivational hype, but that's really not what this book is. It's about building genuine resilience through a good process. It's about understanding your past doesn't define your future, and that you can make a decision right now to start closing the gap in your potential. Look, just to be real with you for a minute, the reason I have this so high up on the list, and it's so different than a lot of the other books that usually recommended, is because it actually did a lot for me to get away from all the traumas and the burnout that I was facing and actually jump back into this stuff. So that's why I recommend it. So we have the mindset, we have the discipline, the habits, and the systems thinking. Now, what's the number 1 book to tie it all together and just tell you what to do? All right, here it is. Number 1, Just Do This by DJ Eshelman. That's me. book is number one on the list for a very specific reason. It's not just because I wrote it. It's the most tactical, direct, and actionable book here for folks in IT because it's all about life in IT. In other words, it's the only book on the list that was actually written for you. I put it here because this is the practical side for us in IT. So you got the mindset from Ed Mylett. Yeah. You understand the systems from James Clear and Eli Goldratt. You know how to focus from Cal Newport. That's all great. But what do you do on a Tuesday morning when your inbox is on fire and you have 3 competing priorities? I've got you. Just Do This provides what I call the risk-less methodology, boiling it down into 4 easy to understand phases: understand, plan, change, and maintain. It's a language even your HR person can understand. This is the process I use for everything that I do, from projects to troubleshooting to change control to planning a vacation. It's all brought out of more than 20 years of IT and consulting experience. So no matter where you're at in your career, I wrote this book to make sure that you see how teams work together and making sure all the bases are covered. In fact, one person told me that even though they'd been a consultant for over a decade, this book taught them a ton of things that they didn't even know. That's freaking sweet. The number of people that have told me their careers have been forever altered by this book are exactly what keep me doing things like this YouTube channel. Look, this stuff is hard. Yeah, that's frustrating. I've got this pain right here in my neck that yeah, it's tough, right? But the thing is, I want to leave this world better than I found it. That's why I wrote this book, and that's why I do all this. The best part is, I read it in my own voice, so you get to hear me instead of some voice actor. Now, if you don't have Audible yet, make sure that this is the first link you click on, because what happens is Amazon will give us a special boost. It helps us cover the expenses of running this channel, which are increasing by the day, unfortunately. But the cool thing is that it doesn't cost you anything. It's a trial, right? You can have this one for free right now. I love that I can actually give this book away for free. It's actually kind of cool. But in this case, if it's the first one you click on, it kind of tags that as being from us, and it makes a little benefit for us if you decide to keep going like I did with Audible. So pretty cool. Helps us both out. I promised that's the main list, but I have a bonus for you. This one is different because it's not about work at all, which is why it's so important. The book is The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter. He argues our comfortable modern lives have made us physically and mentally weak. It's about the power of embracing discomfort, about carrying heavy things, from spending times in nature without a phone, that sort of thing. For us in IT, this is kind of critical. We have, let's be honest, sometimes the most comfortable climate-controlled jobs imaginable. And this book is a call to action to build up some real-world resilience, making you tougher and more capable of handling the stresses at work when they come up. Have you ever heard the term pattern interrupt? This is a pattern interrupt for your life. It's also on my list because, well, I grew up with no electricity or running water. That's right. I know firsthand how being challenged is crucial to our growth. See, we don't rise to the occasion. We only rise to our level of preparedness. All right. These books altogether create a full stack for upgrading your career from the inside out. This is helpful. Subscribe for more content here, and I'll make sure to get that for you. And also find that share button. I bet you know at least 5 people who could use this list as well. Don't wait for me to find them, because believe me that I can't. But you can. And that helps our efforts here more than you could possibly imagine. So thanks again. Get the list. Hey, especially if you've got those credits, go ahead and use them. Why not? All right. I'll see you in the next one.